problems, numerical problems can be given for the midterm test. It can be given for the end semester examination. So here, the midterm test, which has numerical exercises, can be used for application. Next, coming to CO4. Now here, CO4 is nothing but formulate. Here, we are giving an investment plan. So the students have to identify what proportion has to be invested in equity, what proportion has to be invested in debentures, bonds, or any other asset. So they are giving an investment plan customized based on investors' preferences, based on investors' choices. So this can be given in the form of an assignment. This also can be done through case study method of instruction. Next, coming to CO5. Now here CO5 will be evaluating of different portfolios. Now evaluation can be done based on a particular standard. So here this is done through the project based learning. So if you see this course plan has suitable measures based on the Bloom's taxonomy. Now if you compare it with here, evaluation, you have problem solving, you have seminars, you have presentations. Now this application of tools may vary from discipline to discipline. It may vary from program to program. So depending upon your judgment, you have to use an appropriate tool. Are there any clarifications here? Any questions that are raised? Hello? Yes, sir.
Ma'am, is it necessary that the highest level of Bloom's taxonomy needs to be mapped with the COs?
No, it need not be necessary. When you say the highest level of Bloom's taxonomy deals with creation, for example, creation of an HR policy or creation of a marketing plan or creation of a portfolio, only then you can use six, create six. Now, for example, I teach the subject international finance. This is based on economic environment. I am not teaching the students to create an economic policy. I maximum deal with analyzing the factors that cause a particular problem and the impact of the factors. So the maximum Bloom's taxonomy level that I include in my session plan is evaluate level 5. I never reach level 6.
Thank you, ma'am.
Now let us take the basics of assessment. We have two types of assessment measures. The first one is the formative assessment and the second one is the summative assessment. Now, when you say formative assessment, the basic goal is to give feedback to the students. So you monitor the students' progress so that you can give them feedback so that they can do well at the end of the semester examination. So this helps in improving the teaching learning process. And when we come to summative assessment is for evaluation and we compare it against some standard, either in terms of percentages or in terms of a 10-point grading scale or a 7-point grading scale. So this is about formative assessment and summative assessment. So both are very important. Formative assessment should be planned in a structured way and in a meticulous way because it gives feedback to the students to improve their performance. And we as teachers should take it very consistently and we should plan for it in advance. Now, coming to the different types of assessment measures. We have two important types of assessment measures. The first one is a direct assessment tool, and the second one is the indirect assessment tool. Now, when you say direct assessment tool, it depends upon the student's actual work. Now, when they write a test, when they write the end semester examination, when they write an assignment, when they submit a project, when they do a presentation, when there is a research survey done. So this is the actual student work. So when we are measuring the actual student work, we are measuring the actual performance of the student. It comes under direct assessment tool. But when we say indirect assessment tool, it is more about collecting feedback from different stakeholders. So it is opinion based. It is not fact based. So we are collecting feedback. We are conducting a survey. So this is based on second-hand data. So these are the two important tools. One is a direct assessment tool, and the second one is the indirect assessment tool. So when we say indirect assessment tool, we are collecting information about the student's perception of learning. Now, these are the various list of assessment tools. Now here, since I'm from the MBA discipline, the management discipline, I have used the assessment tools that we use in our teaching learning process. For example, direct assessment tools could be midterm evaluation or a class test, or it could be a project given to students, a presentation, a seminar, a role play, or a case study. It can even be a viva, class participation, assignments given to students for application based. Next, we have the end semester examination. So these are your different assessment tools. Now, coming to the indirect assessment tools, the course assessment survey, the exit survey, the alumni survey. So if you see the direct assessment tool, here we are measuring the performance of the students. So it's directly related to the students based on their actual performance. But when we come to indirect assessment, this we are collecting feedback from different stakeholders. It need not be related only to students. You're collecting information, you're collecting opinion or feedback from the alumni. You could even have a parent survey, you could even have a faculty survey. So all these are different assessment tools that are used for outcome-based education. Now, once we list out the assessment tools, the next step is we have to identify the objective of using a particular tool. What is the objective of using a midterm test? What is the objective of using a project-based learning? Or what is the objective of using a case study for discussion? What is the objective of Viva? Similarly, what is the objective of other direct and indirect assessment tools? So this has to be identified. Now, the objective of one faculty member will differ from the other faculty member. So accordingly, this has to be prepared course-wise by the faculty member. Now, coming to the assessment tools and process. Now here, we have a subject for 100 marks. Okay, so accordingly, we have the internal assessment and the assessment, term end examination. So normally for the MBA streams, we have 40 marks internal and we have 60 marks for the end semester examination. Some courses may be having 50-50 or some might be having 80-20. Can any one of you share what is the percentage or what is the proportion of internal assessment to end semester examination?
25 internal CAE mark.
Okay, this is for which program, ma'am?
UG program of engineering.
Okay, engineering. Okay, so it is
Yeah.
75 25. Okay.
Yeah, 25 plus 25.
Yes. So accordingly, now based on your program evaluation criteria, this assessment percentage will change. So for us, it is 40% internal assessment and 60% end semester examination or the term end examination. So when we do the course assessment, the weightages are taken 40% for the internal assessment parameters and 60% for the end term examination. Now here, if you take the list of assessment tools, now midterm examination, PBL, presentations, case study, viva, class participation, assignment, all these are your different internal assessment tools. So 40% will be taken from midterm evaluation, PBL, viva, attendance and class participation, and even assignment. And 60% will be taken from the end term examination. Now here, these are the different internal assessment tools. Now, as I told you, prior to the commencement of the semester, when we prepare the session plan, we identify the course outcomes. And for each and every course outcome, we have to identify which tool will be used by us. Now, for example, we have taken midterm test. Okay. Now, the internal assessment carries 40 marks. And these are the various evaluation tools. So what is the marks assigned for each assessment tool? For example, midterm test carries 10 marks. Project-based learning or presentations or case study carries 15 marks. Viva carries 5 marks. Attendance and class participation carries 5 marks. Assignment carries 5 marks. So the total is 40 marks. Now, the internal assessment should have a consistent procedure. So therefore, this has to be a process because when we are talking about outcome based education, it should be more process driven. Now, OBE has become a fad. All institutions have adopted outcome based education. They are going on achieving different levels of accreditation. NAC, NBA, SACS, AMBA, AACSB. And there is a team of faculty and staff members who are working towards it. But when we talk about outcome based education, it should not be implemented by a group of people, but it should be a process that is implemented at the institute level. So therefore, there should be a process for measuring the quality of the assessment tools. So for this reason, the procedures should be standardized. So you need to have the duration and the frequency deciding in advance. Do not keep it to as a spontaneous decision. So decide in advance what is the duration of your test, how many assignments are you going to give, the project is to be given on which topic, which modules will be covered for Viva, on which topics assignments will be given to students. So all these should be decided in advance. So now a midterm test for 1 hour. And then we have a project based case study which can be given one per semester. So you could have one project given to student, one presentation for student, and case studies can be multiple. And then we have Viva. Now this Viva, it may be based on your project, or it may be based on the presentation of students, or you could just test the conceptual knowledge of the students. And then we have class participation. Now, this class participation is spread across a semester. We might have some online tools used in the class, some debates in the class, group discussion activities in the class. So we measure the class participation of students in all these activities. So this is evenly spread across the semester. And assignment. Assignment are usually application based, and it depends upon the faculty member how many assignments are given. Preferably 2 assignments are given to the student, because normally what students do when there's a class of 60, few of them tend to copy. So then it's better to give 2 assignments to students. So these are the different internal assessment tools, and the quality of the internal assessment tools are very important. So this has to be identified in advance through a systematic process. Next, coming to the indirect assessment tools. Now, if we go to the previous slide, indirect assessment tools, we are collecting information from different stakeholders, and they take these 3 various forms: course assessment survey, exit survey, and the alumni survey. So before we go to these, any queries on the direct assessment tools?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes,
The direct assessment tool, you showed attendance. How
yes.
do you measure that? Attendance also
Weightages.
marks are there?
See, it varies from institute to institute, because
Uh,
some those are giving the some give credits for attendance. So it depends upon the criteria decided by you. Hello, ma'am, are you raising a query, Dr. Poonam?
no, ma'am, I just asked. Okay, I understood that for few subjects, I think you all have
M-
marks for attendance also.
Ma'am, see, some
Yeah.
institutes or maybe some universities use attendance as a credit.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Any other queries?
Ma'am, you have explained it very well. Nice. In this weightage is actually will be double the percentage, I hope.
Ma'am, now this weightages I have given
For
based on our
50%.
internal assessment tools.
Yeah, that is
Okay.
50%
Yes,
only given.
yes. So suppose if yours is like say, what is your percentage of internal assessment component?
25.
Okay, then it will change, ma'am.
Yeah. No, the weightage is given here. Totally, it comes to 50%. Is it for 100% or 50%?
This is for 40%, ma'am.
Oh,
10, 25, 30, 35, 40.
40. 40 marks. You have given percent, same
Out of
40%.
100, ma'am, out of 100.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Ma'am, see,
Thank you.
in the
Thank you.
previous in the previous slide, I've said the subject is of 100 marks. So
Yeah.
we have 40 internal
40,
marks and
60.
60 end semester. So 40%
Only
weightage is given
40
for
in.
internal assessment, and
Okay.
60% weightage is for end semester.
That
Okay.
has been split up. Okay.
So
Fine.
that I have split up based on 100.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, yes. So this is what has to be done beginning of the semester. Normally, if you are an affiliated program, the modes of internal assessment component is prescribed by the university. So we follow that. It's only standalone institutions or autonomous programs autonomous institutions, we are given flexibility, in having different components. Now, when we take the midterm test, what can be the objective of having a midterm test? Because when we highlight the tools, we have to identify the objective of using a particular tool. So what will be the purpose of using a midterm test? To test the knowledge of students. Hello. We can use midterm test to test the knowledge of students. We can use the midterm test to we can use the test to measure the students' problem solving skills. So this can be used up till level 3 of Bloom's taxonomy, level 3, level 4. Because if you're having a case study question in the midterm test, you could use level 4 also. So midterm test is used to check the knowledge of the students, problem solving skills, analytical skills. So you can go up to level 4 for a midterm test. Now, when you come to projects, presentations, role plays, case studies. Let us take case studies. Case studies, we consider a real life situation and we explore different perspectives to the case. Now, the word itself indicates analysis. So we can use it for level 4. And if the particular case highlights different scenarios, there's an evaluation component included in it, then we can use it even for level 5. Or if the case study question asks a student to create or devise a new marketing plan, a new business plan, considering the recommendations of the student, and the student does a business plan, an entrepreneurial plan, then it can even go up to level 6 because it is create. Now, when you play role play, now in role play, there are different characters. So this is again application based and this is analysis. So role plays can be used for level 3 of Bloom's taxonomy, level 4 of Bloom's taxonomy. Now, when you come to presentations, it depends on what is being presented. If a concept is given to student and they're just presenting the meaning of the concepts, the conceptual terms, the background of the particular concept, then it is just level 2. But if they are doing a detailed study, comparing theories, they are doing a critical analysis of the particular topic, measuring the pros and cons, then it can go up to level 5, that is evaluation. Now, when you come to project-based learning, either it can be a research-based study or it can be a field study. The students may be asked to take a survey of the women entrepreneurs, find out the challenges, find out the different schemes available, or the students might go to various kirana stores, find out the modes of payment, the e-banking challenges faced by them. So now all these are surveys. So this is a project. So this can go up to level 4. When you're taking a research based, that is based on secondary data, this can go up to level 5 because there is evaluation included. So like this, for each and every tool, we have to find out the purpose and then map it to the level of Bloom's taxonomy. Now, when it comes to Viva, we're just testing the conceptual knowledge of students. Or maybe if it's an economics question and we are asking questions on demand elasticity, we might give a particular product and ask a student, what is the elasticity of this particular product? So maximum we can ask is level 2 and level 3, checking the conceptual knowledge of the students and application based. Now, when it comes to class participation, here we are measuring the performance of the students not in one activity, but in series activities. For example, we have done a particular topic in the class, next day we come to class, we have a short revision, or it may be a newspaper activity. In the editorials or in the headlines, there is a news article pertaining to the particular topic that is going to be discussed in class. So we ask for students' opinion, there's a discussion that again constitutes participation. There's a debate, there's a group discussion. So class participation is not measured through one activity, it's a series of activities. So it is spread across the semester. So accordingly, the level of Bloom's taxonomy can be given, because here you're not just measuring the knowledge of the students, but we are also measuring the skills of the students, the problem solving skills, the communication skills, the presentation skills. So this also has to be taken into consideration for class participation. Now, when we come to assignment, now again assignment can be level 2, level 3, level 4, depending upon the type of assignment given. If an assignment is given, for example, analyze the causes of the euro crisis or of the Greece crisis. Now here the students are analyzing the case. So it can be a level 4. It's an assignment given to students. So therefore, accordingly, we have to identify the purpose of using the tool and then map it to the respective level of Bloom's taxonomy. Now, coming to the indirect assessment tools. Any queries still here till the direct assessment tools? Shall I
So, I mean, the
proceed?
participation,
Yes, ma'am.
when you evaluate the participation, will not be a class participation. Will there be a biased judgment by the staff towards the students?
Ma'am, when we say participation, it is not one activity, ma'am. It is
Yeah.
a series of activities. Correct?
So
For example,
individually, how will we
yes.
manage to give mark individually in every classes?
See, this has to be objective based. Okay, there will
Right.
be an element of bias. So that is why
Yeah.
actually these particular tools should have rubrics,
Okay.
because rubrics will help us to measure the students' performance based on different parameters. So that would be discussed in the coming session. So now when we say rubrics, rubrics is a tool, or it's a checklist, or it's a guideline framework. So this will be used when there is no direct measurement involved. For example, midterm test.
Yeah, those
All of us
things.
know
Okay.
that, yes, all of us
Yeah.
know that 2 plus 3 is 5. Correct?
Right.
So marks can be assigned accordingly. But
Yeah.
when it comes to projects, case study, or participation or assignment, it can be done in multiple ways. And there is no right assignment or wrong assignment. So we need to have a rubrics. So even for class participation, we need to have a rubrics. So if you have a rubrics, you could consider various participation dimensions, and then you could assign marks for various dimension, and you could measure it across 3 levels: low, medium, and high.
Okay. Thank you.
Actually, if you see this, measure this assessment tool here, we need to have rubrics for presentation projects. We need to have rubrics for class participation. And assignment depends on the topic that you have given for the student.
Fine, thank you.
Any other questions? Next, coming to the course assessment survey. Now here, when we say course assessment survey, we are collecting the student's perception about the learning process. We are giving value for his opinion. Now, this has to be done at the end of the course delivery, before the end semester examination. Here, the survey is purely about the course. This should not be confused with the faculty feedback. So when we are administering the course assessment survey to the students, we should clearly tell them the difference between the faculty feedback and the course assessment survey. Your course assessment survey, we're just collecting students' opinion or their feedback regarding the various course objectives. For example, whether the course is well organized, whether the course uses appropriate analytical techniques, whether the course shows clear understanding of basic concepts, whether the course covered application of basic concepts, and whether the course was sensible and reasonable. So these can be different questions that are asked in the course assessment survey. Now, when you frame the course assessment survey, the course assessment survey should be based on your course outcomes. Now, direct assessment tool will give you the performance of the student. But similarly, when we take the indirect assessment tool, that is the survey, again, we have to collect the feedback from the students based on our course outcomes. So accordingly, the course assessment survey should be designed based on the COs. Now, any course outcome would have component of knowledge, has component of skills. So when you say component of knowledge, this third question, the course shows clear understanding of basic concepts. So this is related to the knowledge concept. And next, coming to skills. Here, see the fourth question. The application of basic concepts by the course is sensible and reasonable. The second question, the course uses appropriate analytical techniques. So this is related to skills which the students learn. So hence, when course assessment survey questions are formed, they have to be formed based on the course outcomes, taking into consideration the KSA, knowledge, skills, and attitude. And these questions can be standardized across the program. It need not be same from, it cannot be the same, I'm sorry, it need not be different from course to course. It can be standardized across the program. And when we use the course assessment survey, we have to use Likert scale. Either you can use a 3 rating scale or you can use a 5-point rating scale. Now, when we map course outcomes to program outcomes, okay, we are mapping course outcomes to program outcomes, COs to POs. So when we are mapping COs to POs, we use the levels of relationship: low correlation, moderate correlation, high correlation, low relationship, medium relationship, high relationship. So this uses a 3-point scale. So similarly, for this course assessment survey, you can use a 3-point rating scale. So you can do a Google form and administer it to the students before the end semester examination or on during the last week of the semester. Just give them these questions and rate it on low, medium, high. And students may give you their frank opinion or feedback regarding the course. Coming the second tool. The second tool is the exit survey. Now, when we say exit survey, this has to be done at the end of 2 years, after the students have completed all the semesters of the program. So when we say course assessment survey, it is done, it has to be done for each subject, for each course at the end of each semester. But when it comes to exit survey, this has to be done at the end of the program. So if your program has 4 semesters, it has to be done after the completion of 4 semesters. And now, when you frame your exit survey questions, again, take into consideration Likert scale. Either you can use a 3-point scale or you can use a 5-point scale. Now, when you take the exit survey, this is directly linked to the program outcomes. If you take the course assessment survey, this is linked to the course outcomes. Okay. So once you give the questions, this is linked to the particular course. But once you take the exit survey, this is not linked to the particular course because this is done at the end of 4 semesters. So it is linked to the particular program. So what we can do, we have our program outcome statements. So we have to frame the program outcome statements in the form of a question and collect the feedback from the students. So if you see here, MMS program helped me in applying knowledge of management theories and practices to solve business problems. So this is a PO1 given by the NBA manual, application of management theories to solve business problems. So this can be framed in the form of a question or in the form of a statement to collect the students' feedback. Our second PO deals with analytical and critical thinking. So accordingly, MMS program helped me in developing analytical and critical thinking abilities for data-based decision making. This is a PO2. And when you take PO3, developing value-based leadership ability. So accordingly, the statement could be MMS program facilitated me in enhancing the ability to develop value-based leadership ability. Next, coming to PO4. Understand, analyze, and communicate global economic, legal, and ethical aspects of business. So here again, a question has been framed. And the last one is dealing with achievement of organizational goals, contributing to team environment. So the statement has been framed as MMS program supported me to develop the ability to lead myself and others in the achievement of organizational goals, contributing effectively to a team environment. So here, exit survey questions are formed in accordance with the program outcomes. And this has to be done at the end of the 4 semesters. Either you take a 3-point rating scale or a 5-point rating scale. Choice is yours. Next, coming to the alumni survey. Now, this alumni survey is done for batches which have passed out from the institute 5 years down the line. And this alumni surveys are very important because it makes you check whether your POs are consistent, whether you need to change your program educational objectives. So these surveys have to be done for batches 5 years down the line. For example, how much do you rate your business acumen? How well prepared are you to apply models, tools, and techniques? How well are you prepared to advance your technical knowledge? How well prepared are you to function in a multidisciplinary team? How well prepared are you to assume leadership roles? How well prepared are you to consider the impact of your work on the organization? How well prepared are you to discharge professional responsibilities? How well prepared are you to consider the impact of your work on the environment? How well prepared are you to consider the impact of your work on the society? How well prepared are you to start your own entrepreneurial venture? How well prepared are you to take value based ethical decisions? How well prepared are you to contribute to solve contemporary issues facing the society? How well prepared are you to solve business problems in your organization? How well prepared are you to discharge ethical responsibilities? So, the basic purpose of the alumni survey is to understand whether the MBA program given by you, the courses delivered by you, have helped the alumni in their professional career, have helped them in their corporate life, and it has helped them in their career graph. So, for this reason, alumni surveys are important. And again, these have to be given on a Likert scale rating, either a 3-point scale or a 5-point scale. So, based on the responses, now if you take 1, 2, 3, low for 1, medium for 2, and high for 3. So, if you get rating 2 and above, then you need to see how to strengthen the curriculum of the MBA program. If you get a rating of less than 2, that is 1, around 1.2, 1.3, then we need to identify the curricular gaps, the gaps in the curriculum. And then we need to identify what value added courses can be given to students, either in the form of certification programs or in the form of guest lectures, so that this gap will be minimized in the next survey. So accordingly, we can have other surveys also. Now, for example, if you see the NAC accreditation criteria 1.4, it deals with feedback from faculty. So similarly, the feedback can be considered even from the faculty members with respect to different questions on different parameters relating to the PEOs, relating to POs, and the feedback can be implemented to enrich the curriculum. So like this, different types of surveys can be considered for indirect assessment tools. So we have the course assessment survey, which is done at the end of the course, exit survey, which is implemented at the end of the 4th semester. And then we have alumni surveys administered to alumni who have passed 5 years down the line. Now coming to our course attainment. Now, when you say a course attainment, we have studied our different course assessment tools, direct and indirect. Okay. So when you say course assessment, it is a mixture of measuring the performance of the student with both direct tool as well as the indirect tool. So 80% of the course attainment comes from the direct tools. The direct tools are your midterm test, class test, Viva, assignment, projects. All these are your direct assessment tools. and 20% comes from your indirect assessment tools. The indirect assessment tools were your course assessment survey, your exit survey, and the alumni survey. And to get this direct assessment has two important components. One is the internal evaluation component, and the other is the end semester examination, term end examination. So accordingly, 40% comes from the internal evaluation component and 60% comes from the end semester examination. Some of you had 75-25. So it would be 25% for CIE and 75% for ESE. Some of you may have again 50-50. So then 50% from internal assessment and 50% from the end semester examination. This CIE percentage and end semester percentage, it varies from program to program. But this direct 80% and indirect 20%, this has been given by NBA. Any queries here?
It's very clear.
Now,
Ma'am, I'm sorry.
yes, yes,
Can you go back 2 slides before this, the exit survey? Sorry, alumni survey. Yeah, this one, the alumni survey. In the alumni survey, you said that the survey needs to be taken for those who have it's
past
been
five
5 years.
years,
Yeah,
five
past
years
5 years.
before. Yes, yes.
Correct. So now in these questions that are, now, these are obviously sample questions, but the question that we are asking these students should it be on the basis of the PEOs because in the past 5 years they would have hopefully accumulated enough knowledge to answer these questions on the basis of their experience and not the MBA degree that they've got.
Yes, see, now the purpose of asking these questions, okay, now a very basic purpose of, delivering the courses is to make the students well equipped in terms of knowledge, in terms of skills. Now, 5 years after completing or after graduating from the MBA program, the alumni members would have done additional courses. But the additional courses or the additional skills learned by them would have been based on the foundation what we have taught during the MMS program or during the 2 year MBA program. So the purpose of having these alumni surveys is to understand whether whether we have well equipped them with knowledge or skills so that they
Basically,
can
have you
develop
provided a
on
good
their
foundation
own.
for them?
Yes.
Okay.
So now when you see here, how much do you rate your business acumen? How well prepared are you to apply modern tools and techniques? So we are looking at their initiative, we are looking at their willingness. So the
Got it.
questions are framed in such a way we are asking their opinion with respect to their willingness, with regard to their initiative. Now, what we perceive is a person is willing, a person will take the initiative when he or she is confident. Correct? So whether we are equipping the students with knowledge, skills, and attitude so that they can progress on their own in the future, either to be a business leader, to be an entrepreneur, or to be a manager. So that is the purpose of having an alumni survey.
Got it. Thanks.
Ma'am, these questions
Yes.
will be based on the PEOs, right? And
Yes,
the
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
institute
See,
will be
this.
able to gauge whether the PEOs mapped by them or drafted by them are appropriate or not, to prepare the students for their
Yes, ma'am.
career and future life.
Yes, ma'am. See, this surveys, you can have different questions. I have just put questions based on the management stream. So these questions will vary from program to program, from discipline to discipline. And again, so these alumni surveys will help you to check whether Your mission statement also is inconsistent
Is it?
with the
Yeah,
contemporary, society,
right.
contemporary issues. Okay. So
Okay,
if you
but
do
just
these
a
surveys, yes, ma'am.
sorry, just a thought, wouldn't it be appropriate to do this survey after 2 years from their exit from the institute? I think 5 years is too big a time
Yes,
gap.
ma'am. Actually, what they say while talking, when you listen to these experts, they say 3 to 5 years.
Okay.
But then when we had Dr. Pankaj Trivedi, so he said POs can be measured 5 years. So hence I spoke about 5 years because
Okay, no
normally
issue.
the gap is
Yeah,
about 3 to 5 years. Yes.
yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Dr. Smita,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, I just wanted to have an understanding on the assignment which has been given to us. Can we ask a question on that?
Uh, Ma'am, may I complete and proceed, and
Okay,
then we
okay, fine.
come to
Okay,
the
okay,
assignment
okay,
questions?
okay, fine,
Yes.
no problem.
Okay. Any other queries? Okay. Now, once we understand the direct tools and the indirect tools, now when we take the administering part of the tools, the internal evaluation component, it will be administered by us. When it comes to indirect tools, okay, the course assessment survey can be administered by us. The exit survey can be administered by the program committee. And the alumni survey can be administered by the placement cell because they have maintained a networking relationship with the alumni. So accordingly, the indirect surveys have to be administered by appropriate committees at the institute level. Only then information can be solicited and the attainment levels can be calculated. Now, these are your different assessment tools. Okay. Now, when we take the assessment tool, the direct assessment tool, now here we have test, which includes even your end semester examination, viva, class participation, project case study or presentations or assignments. Now, this will be mapped to a particular course outcome. Okay. Let me just give you the template for. Okay. So now here, if we see this is given in the assignment document shared yesterday with all of you. So here, this is the COPO mapping matrix. So in the COPO mapping matrix, we have our course outcome statements and we have mapped it with the various program outcomes. And we have given the level of relationship, low, medium, and high. And based on the levels of Bloom's taxonomy, we have given the assessment tool. Now, this has been done for a particular course. Okay. So what the program has to do at the after the session plan has been compiled, we need to make this summary sheet for all the courses. A faculty member prepares for a particular course, but then it has to be combined at the program level. We need to know which tool is used for which program outcome. Now, for example, exit survey is directly linked to the program outcomes. So this has a tick mark. But when you say course assessment survey or alumni survey, Again, course assessment survey is to be done at the end of each course completion at the end of the semester. So this can be linked to all the program outcomes. But when it comes to alumni survey, it depends upon the questions you have identified. Now, if you see the questions that are shared, here it is considering all the program outcomes. So therefore, I have put a tick mark for all the program outcomes. But it may meet some program outcomes, it may not meet some program outcomes. So it depends upon you whether to map it to a particular program outcome. So this requires analysis. So the courses, assessment tools, the sheet should be collected for all the subjects, for all the courses, and this summary sheet has to be prepared. So this will help us for rubrics, one thing, and second, when we are doing the filing for NBA, there is a file to be prepared, a P file, that is rubrics for validating the program outcomes. So this will help us in the preparation of that file. Next, coming to the closing of the loop. We have measured the performance of the student using the direct assessment tool. We have collected their opinion or their perception of learning through the indirect tools. Now this has to be put together and the loop has to be closed. So the information from both direct assessment and indirect assessment, this feedback should be given to the program assessment committee, to the PAC, and the curriculum has to be enriched by adding certain value-added courses. And this will also help in bridging the curricular gap for certain weekly mapped program outcomes, weekly mapped PSOs. Yes. Any queries here? So this is the end of my presentation.
Hello, ma'am. Can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, the chart you have shown where it was showing like high, low, and medium with PO and COs. The
Yes.
slide that you have shown. So in that you have not written anything in like PO3 and PO5. So we need to put it blank or we can use L there.
Ma'am, when we are mapping course outcomes, okay?
Yeah.
When we are mapping course outcomes to program outcomes, okay, you can either have a one-to-one approach or you can have a one-to-many approach, okay? So
Okay.
when you have a one-to-one approach, we are just mapping a course outcome to a single PO. That is one-to-one. So
Okay.
CO1 is just linked to PO1. It is not linked to PO2 or PO5. Okay, that
Right.
is one-to-one. Then the other one is one-to-many. Now, when you say one-to-many, you link it to PO1, PO2, based on the level of reasoning or justification given by you. Okay. Now,
Okay.
there are certain POs I have not mapped. I've left the cells blank
Yeah.
because it's not correlated. So as indicated by Maushmi ma'am, either you can put 0. So when you put 0, it includes non-correlation.
Okay.
Or you can leave the cell blank. I've kept the cell blank.
Okay. So in both the cases, it's fine. Either we can put
Yes,
0 or we can.
yes, either you can put 0 or you can leave it blank.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Any other queries? Vinita ma'am, let us take your query. Vinita ma'am. Any other questions?
Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm not sure if this is coming under the same category, but when we're doing the attainment of the marks, right, do we have to count for each question? For example, now you have
Yes,
question.
yes, yes, yes. I did not cover about the because my topic was restricted to evaluation and assessment. So I just spoke about the assessment tools, linking it to the Bloom's taxonomy, and regarding the attainment, it will be done by tomorrow. It will be
Okay,
done by Dr. Sriranga Bhatt. And regarding the mapping of the questions to COs, it will be done on Thursday's session.
thank you, ma'am.
Dr. Vinita, can we have your query? I think a query was raised on assignment.
Yeah, sorry, Dr. Smita, I'm sorry. The query that I had raised on the assignment was that we have been given an assignment for filling up this course details. And there in this course details, there's a table where we are supposed to be mapping the course outcomes and the program outcomes. And there's a column for assessment.
Yes.
Where we will be putting across the various assessment tools that we are going to use for that particular course.
Yes, ma'am.
So these assessment tools, will they be the direct tools or the indirect tools that we are supposed to be adding?
Direct tools, ma'am. Direct tools.
The direct tools will be coming over here.
Yes, ma'am.
Out of the direct tools also, there are two tools. Like there's one tool, let's say the internal examination, for which we can, we are actually able to see how those CO are getting mapped. Like say, for example, if we are designing the internal examination paper, we will frame the questions in a manner that they map with the COs.
Yes.
But for an external examination, like the University of Mumbai, for example, examination, that is not in our control. Like it's beyond our control, like how the questions are framed. So should we be putting that over there in the assessment, the external examination?
Ma'am, this considers only the internal assessment tools, ma'am.
Okay, fine.
Yes.
Okay, right. Thank you.
Yes. And regarding the mapping of questions to COs and POs, this will be done in the later sessions.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Banita ma'am, you have any query? You have raised your hand.
Yes. Good afternoon, madam. I want to know that in one slide you have said that for 10 marks, 1 hour time should be given, if I'm not wrong. Is it the one that you have shown for 10 marks? 1 hour time is to be dedicated to the student. Now, how much that is practicable?
Ma'am, just to address your question on that. See, what I have just put is just a sample, ma'am. Okay. It will vary from program to program. It will vary from course to course. Yes. Now, if you have seen my presentation, I have not considered any lab component. I have not considered any lab courses because I'm from the management background. Correct? Yes. So like that, it will vary from stream to stream. It can be 45 minutes. It can be 1.5 hours, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Since you brought up the topic of management stream, I think most of the MBA programs are having your summer internship projects as coming in. So do we have to map that as well? And if so, how do we go about that?
Yes, you need to map even the summer projects. If you see the NBA manual, for the management stream, you have 4.2.3, if I'm not mistaken, which deals with the quality of dissertation and the quality of thesis. And they have identified some parameters for measuring the summer internship progress of the student. So those parameters could be taken by us, and accordingly a rubrics can be framed based on those parameters. And accordingly we can measure the program, we can measure the progress of the student for SIP.
So no dedicated course outcome as such for that, right?
See, when you have the parameters, isn't it? It's a rubric, correct?
Yeah.
Because summer internship, it's not a course, isn't it? It's a project.
Right.
So project has different rubrics.
Got it. Thank you.
The parameters are given in the manual. It's given in criterion 4. You can check that out.
Yeah. Any other participants have any queries? Yes. No any other questions? Okay. With this, we come to the end of our day 3 post-lunch session. I thank Dr. Smita Jesudasan to accept our invitation to deliver on the topic today, assessment and evaluation based on OBE. Ma'am, let me tell you, the session was very informative and you have clarified many of the doubts of our participants. Thank you so much for your wonderful and informative session.
Thank you, Natika ma'am.
And participants, we have shared the feedback via chat as well as via mail in your registered ID. You can fill that. We have also mailed you all the instructions with regards to the quiz and test, on which platform and how it would be conducted, number of questions, durations. At the same time, the requirement from the system configuration point as well, with the date of the test. So I request the participants to kindly get connected by 3 p.m. so that we can discuss on the test platform, how it would be conducted. Also, we are going to take a demo test with you all on the same platform, the way the test would be conducted on Thursday at 3 p.m. So requesting all to get connected today at 3 p.m. so that I can share my screen, and what mail we have sent you all with regards to the test and quiz, we can have a detailed discussion on it. Also to inform you all, the quiz will have the questions based on the discussion, based on the topics delivered by these resource persons, speakers from day 1 till the last date. That is till the 12th of May. From 6th May to 12th May, the sessions which have taken place, based on that and those topics, the quiz will have the questions. Which date you are talking, sir? Ma'am, Namita ma'am. The demo test is on 11th May. Today at 3 p.m. we will be discussing the guidelines. Demo test is on 11th May. Yes, demo test is on 11th May at 3 p.m. And the actual test will be taking place on 20th and 21st of May. We have sent you all the mail, ma'am. We will discuss about it at 3 p.m. Okay, bye. Okay, thank you everyone. So we'll get connected at 3 p.m.